Good afternoon and welcome to another night of baseball here at Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Angerbauer here with Grayson Heck on the call tonight. Gabe, our standard play-by-play, is taking the week off, so we'll get a chance to hear from Grayson this week.
Yeah, super excited making my Mustangs debut tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, but let's get right into it with the lineup for the KC Precision Baseball. Leading it off is number 32, playing shortstop Braden Peterson. Batting second is number 24, the first baseman Dylan Roser. Batting third is number 51, the right fielder Reed Livingston. Batting fourth is the cleanup hitter, number 50, Rimmer Carr, the catcher. Batting fifth, number 7, Beck Fern, who's pitching and DHing tonight. Batting sixth is number 14, Drake Matney, the third baseman. Batting seventh is number 11, Adam Marsh, and playing left field. Batting eighth is number 5, Lucas Barta, playing second base. And in center field is Cole. We don't have a last name for him, but Cole is in center field for the Precision.
Yep, Cole over there in center field. I think we don't have a first name for him because when we were getting the lineups, it was just written as Cole.
Oh, okay.
But unknown Cole to round out the lineup for the KC Precision of the Kansas City Collegiate Baseball League, making their first visit to St. Joe this year. Coming up to the lineup today for the Mustangs, actually, it's Tenderloins night. The St. Joe Tenderloins are playing tonight. It's the theme night. No Mustangs, Tenderloins. But leading it off will be the shortstop, Chris Coy, steady force out of the leadoff spot for the Tenderloins. Batting cleanup will be Boston Bruce, who will be making his debut at the catching spot this season. He'll be followed by Braden Lukart playing right and Micah Kobuszewski cleaning it up playing center field. Batting fifth, Seth Winkler will be playing second base, and he'll be followed by Jaden Little playing first and Zach Kraft, who will be designated hitting tonight, getting the day off of catching. To round out the lineup, Eden Myers will be batting eighth. He'll be playing third base, and Carter Belton, the left fielder, will be batting ninth. And I don't know about you, Gabe, but this is a pretty good Mustangs team that we're seeing start to round up into form. It was a rough start to last week, first road trip of the season where they went winless, but they were able to come back, have a 3-game homestand, and win all 3 games.
Yeah, we saw that road trip last week, 0-2 on the trip. Just kind of odd to see the Mustangs struggle on the road. Usually it's a team, St. Joe's used to a competitive game almost every night, so really, just looking forward to the Mustangs getting back on track tonight. And, they showed that last weekend.
They really did. This is the start of a 4-game homestand that the Mustangs have this week. Starting against the KC Precision, and then they'll be playing Chillicothe tomorrow, and then closing out the weekend on Friday and Saturday with games against the North Missouri Natties, who are in their first year of Mink League play and making their very first trip out to Phil Welch and the wonderful hospitality that we have here. But we'll tell you a little bit more about the Precision. The KC Precision 9-3 and tied for first in the entire Kansas City Collegiate Baseball League. So a pretty good team that we have on our hands. They are first in their division, tied for first in the entire league, and are currently carrying a +22 run differential. I think from what we were seeing last week from the Mustangs, they were getting a lot of offense, but their pitching was a little susceptible.
Yeah, for sure. The Mustangs' offense has been good. They've found ways to get on base with their base hits and stuff. But, yeah, the pitching just overall hasn't been up to par as what the Mustangs fans would like. And overall, just, you hope the pitching can come out here tonight and give the Mustangs fans something to cheer for and keep them in the game.
Yep. JT Adams on the mound tonight for the Mustangs. He'll be making his third start. And we're going to take a quick break as the national anthem is about to get sung. Welcome back after that beautiful national anthem. The Tenderloins are 4-3 coming into today after currently on a 3-game win streak. It is going to be a great night of baseball. We do have a little bit of weather that's in the forecast. Right now the skies are a little bit clear, but the wind is starting to pick up. About 15 miles an hour going from right to left across the field. Yep. So we will see what the Stangs are going to be able to do tonight on their second Tenderloins night of the season.
Yeah, it should be an interesting night with this weather forecast tonight. It's kind of been off and on all day today as we have an ambulance going by the parkway on the outside. But, yeah, overall should be an interesting day for the rain. You know, you never want to say that word in baseball because it makes it a lot harder to play in. But overall, you know, should be able to get the game in today. A little bit cloudy, but overall nothing crazy yet.
Yeah, blue skies up ahead of us, looking south, but a couple of storms about an hour and a half away. Our producer Nathaniel Brown showing us the forecast coming in for this game. But the Mustangs have only had one game so far in the weather this year. It was an 8-inning called game last week against Chillicothe, in which the Stings were able to win a nail-biter 9-7. But hopefully we'll be able to see some better baseball weather-wise here tonight as the Stings look to go for their 4th consecutive win. On the mound tonight, as we were talking a little bit about earlier, JT Adams making his 3rd start of the year. He's had an up-and-down year so far. 2 starts so far, 0-2 record, and 5 2/3 innings pitched. He has given up a lot of runs, 10 so far on the year, while also walking a considerable amount of guys. He's currently at 6 walks compared to only 5 strikeouts. But he's getting warmed up out there as coming on up to lead off the game, Braden Peterson, the shortstop for the Kansas City Precision.
Yeah, you mentioned JT Adams on the mound. He struggled in the past. Really just need him to have a good day for the Mustangs, keep him in this game.
Looking for some good command and some light contact tonight, as Adams also gives up a lot of hits. But we're getting ready for first pitch here on your home of the Mustangs, and he sends that first pitch to Peterson high and away for ball 1. Want to know the count? And that next pitch is in there for a called strike 1. Good job by Adams to even out the count. So the count is now 1-1 on Braden Peterson. One delivery. Touches the top of the strike zone on the outer half of the plate. 1-2 now the count. Peterson playing in his 3rd year in the KCCBL, but only his 1st with the Precision. He was with the Mac and Sights teams the past 2 years. Takes that pitch outside and away for ball 2. But so far, not a really good year for Peterson. 0.77 batting average. Only slugging 0.77 as well. He's had 2 hits on the year, both of them being singles. And he takes that next pitch from Adams outside for ball 3.
Really important for Adams here not to let this leadoff guy get a walk here.
Adams has had trouble with his command so far this season, but a full count now to lead off the top of the 1st. Adams sets, and low and outside ball 4. Peterson makes his way on to first via the walk.
Not the start you want if you're the St. Joseph Tenderloins tonight, but overall, you know, trust your defense. Hopefully you can roll into a double play here if you're Adams on the mound tonight.
A ground ball double play would be a great opportunity here for the Tenderloins, as coming on up is Dylan Roser, playing in his 1st game, first season for the Precision. First pitch by Adams, grounded right back up to Adams on the mound. A high throw over to second for 1 and over to first, double play. And that right there is an announcer's blessing if I've heard anything.
Just what the doctor drew up. Little unfunctional, but it works out for the Mustangs in their favor, and it's a great way to get 2 outs and save the pitcher, JT Adams, some pitches with that.
It was a great job there by the second baseman, Seth Winkler, controlling a high throw there by Adams over to second and being able to make the throw over to Little at first to get the twin killing. But coming on up is Reed Livingston in right field tonight. Takes that first pitch outside for ball one. The 1-0 delivery, nice strike painted right there on the outside edge, evens the count out at 1-1.
Livingston's a first baseman from Missouri, S&T, South Missouri, for all the Missouri folks out there.
That next pitch runs way outside for ball two. So far, Adams not having the best command of the strike zone, but when he's been able to produce contact, it's been good contact so far. And there's a liner down the right field line, and that's hooking foul. Evens the count out at 2-2 here on Livingston.
A 2-2 count for Adams here would be big to get out of this inning just with 0 runs.
Mustangs looking to go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. And that's inside on the bottom of the strike zone for a called strike three. JT Adams records his first strikeout of the game. And 1-2-3 go the Precision. We're going into the home half here of the Tenderloins and Precisions game. We'll be back to you here on your home of the St. Joseph Tenderloins right after this. Welcome back to the home half of the first. Precision went 1-2-3 in the top of the first, so 0 runs for them so far, and the Tenderloins coming on up for their first chance this evening. Chris Coy coming up to bat, and he's going to be on to face the Precision pitcher Beck Fern, who sends that first pitch low and outside for ball one.
Yeah, so the pitcher for KC tonight, Beck Fern, is a 3.75 ERA, 0.75 WHIP, with 12 innings pitched, 8 hits allowed, 6 runs allowed. 5 of those were earned and 1 walk on the year. So he's had solid numbers so far this summer.
A solid season for Fern, as that next pitch is swung on and missed by Coy to even the count out at 1-1. We've seen a little bit of a swing and miss action so far for Coy as he swings and misses there at a ball in the dirt for strike 2. But whenever Coy does make contact, it ends up being pretty good. He's reached base about 30% of the time so far this season. 4 stolen bases on the year.
Yeah, you see his on-base percentage sitting at 364, so just a guy who knows how to find a way to get on base. The local St. Joe product. The fans love to see him.
Coy, very popular here in the St. Joe. A product of the University of Omaha, faces the 2-2 count. That next pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. Coy goes down via the strikeout. And St. Joe is sending on up Boston Bruce for the second player here this inning.
Boston Bruce, a guy who hasn't played in a whole lot of games this year so far, but he's getting his feet wet now with the Tenderloins, as I should say, tonight. But yeah, Bruce is someone who could spark this offense early.
First pitch bounces out of the way from the catcher Carr back to the backstop. So 1-0 count now on Boston, who, as you were saying, Grayson, he's had a great year so far. Takes that next pitch on the inside for strike 1.
Yeah, he has 333 average on the year with a 500 on base percentage, and then over 1,300 slugging percentage. Just absolute insane numbers. Big cut there.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. A lot of swing and miss action so far for the Tenderloins on these pitches here from Fern. Bruce does carry one of 3 Mustangs home runs on the year, the other 2 belonging to Carter Belton, who's batting 9th tonight, as he sends that one deep down the left field line, and that is gone. Home run number 2 on the year for Boston Bruce, and the Tenderloins jump out to a 1-0 lead in the bottom half of the first.
Boston Bruce, I mean, talk about an absolute slam to left field, no doubt about it. He gives the Mustangs a 1-0 lead.
Home run number 2 on the year for Boston Bruce, coming off a record-breaking JCCC season where they went 67-3 and won their very first national championship. Coming on to bat is the right fielder, Braden Lucart. Lucart takes that first pitch inside for called strike 1. So falling in an 0-1 hole to begin his at-bat.
Lucart, another St. Joe product from Lafayette High School. See if he can give one a ride.
That next pitch is down and low. Evens the count out at 1-1. And Lucart's been really good so far in his limited action this season. Only 4 games played so far this year. 471 batting average. And only 1 run batted in so far, but at the top of the lineup, he's been able to get on base at a 50% clip so far this year. Takes that next pitch outside for strike 2. Counts now 1-2. The pitch is a soft chopper over to second. Second base has it, tosses it over to first for the easy 4-3 ground out. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. Coming on up is the cleanup hitter, Micah Kobaszewski, who's been the definition of consistent here for the Mustangs this season. In 6 games played, he also carries a 417 batting average, but 2 doubles on the year, 10 hits, and only 24 at-bats.
Just pretty crazy numbers from Kobaszewski to start the year for the Mustangs. He's been a guy who's producing all summer long so far.
Takes that first pitch outside, so it's a 1-0 count with 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is a chopper up the middle. Second base has it over to first for the final out of the inning. So Mustangs send 4 up, but Boston Bruce hits his 2nd home run of the year to give the Mustangs a 1-0 lead over the visiting Precision. We'll be back to you here in the 2nd inning and just right after this on your home of the Tenderloins. Welcome back, folks, to the top of the second inning with the Tenderloins carrying a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Boston Bruce's second home run of the season. And coming on up for the precision is going to be Remmer Carr.
Yeah, Remmer Carr for the Kansas City. Just an absolute massive body, standing at 6'6" in the right-hander's batter's box. You don't see a ton of that height in the baseball field, but just absolute massive presence.
We're going to be seeing Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. You'd expect someone with his size to be there, not here playing in St. Joe.
No, for sure.
But the first pitch to Carr is low and outside for ball 1.
Carr is a first baseman slash catcher from Drury University. 6'6", 228 for those who want the official measurements.
Takes that next pitch high for strike for ball 1. And with Carr and a man his size, he's got a pretty big strike zone.
For sure.
Strike zone generally about the shoulder, the elbows to the knees. And that 6'6" frame not being hit there as that next pitch runs outside. Carr is quickly 3-0, and Adams is falling behind here, unable to locate anything to lead off the top of the second. The 3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike 1. Good pitch there by Adams to work himself back into the count. It was right down there at the knees. It looked like Carr was taken the entire way. The 3-1 delivery swung on and missed. Big rip and a miss by Carr, looking to tie this game on a swing like that.
Yeah, hitters count there 3-1. Carr with a big rip, and he swung for the fences and didn't achieve there.
But a full count now on Remmer Carr to lead off the top of the second. The 3-2 pitch, down low, ball 4. So Carr, like the beginning of the first, takes the leadoff walk to start out this game. As Beck Fern, the pitcher and designated hitter tonight, makes his way up for his first appearance this evening. Second walk of the day for JT Adams. His 8th on the year. And only 6 2/3 innings pitched. That first pitch to Fern lands on the outside edge. Slider there by Adams for a called strike 1. So 0-1 the count now on Fern. Swings and misses there. Quickly in an 0-2 hole, and Adams having a much better at-bat here against Fern than he did against Carr to begin this inning.
Definitely is having a better at-bat. Really important here to try to put away this batter with 2 strikes while you got him here.
0-2 the count with Carr at first. Just inside for ball 1. That could have been on the inside edge, but we have seen some shifty umpiring from behind the plate so far in this young season for the Tenderloins. But a liner up the middle and past the reach of the second baseman Winkler into right field for the base hit. Carr making his way over to third. And Fern with a single to open up the hits tonight for the precision.
So the pitcher for the pitcher doing it on both sides for the KC tonight, and overall just a really good piece of hitting there. Just struck that ball really good through the right side, and it found a hole there.
Just to the left of the second baseman Winkler. But coming on up with runners on the corners is Drake Matney. He's playing third base tonight. First pitch to Matney is fouled back into the netting. Goes down 0-1. Matney, a product of Graceland University, playing in his second year for Precision. Only batting .111 this season, but made the preseason All-Star team in his first year back in 2024. That next pitch is taken outside for ball 1. So 1-1 the count now on Drake. Swing and a miss there on a pitch that was over the plate but low. making it another pitcher's count here, 1-2.
Big pitch here with runners on the corners.
Looking for something shallow or a potential strikeout as he swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. Strike 3. First out of the inning recorded here on J.T. Adams' second strikeout of the day.
J.T. Adams' stuff looks pretty good, Tyler. You know, just overall, he's been able to get the strikeouts when he needs them. Just can't get ahead of these 3-ball counts when it's 3-0, 3-1. Really hurts whenever it's that count.
Yeah, JT, whenever his command is in there, making good contact with the plate. But the score is still 1-0 in favor of the Tenderloins with runners here on the corners and 1 out in the top of the second. Coming on up is Adam Marsh, who is our taco batter of the game tonight. First pitch to March inside, and it looked like it might have been a balk.
Kind of interesting there. The runner on first base there kind of just jogged over to second base, but don't think there was an indication of a balk there.
Didn't look like there was an indication, but little weird series of events there allowing him to get a stolen base. But runners on second and third now with 1 out. The force out at second is now dead as that next ball is fouled back to the backstop. And Marsh is in a quick 0-2 hole. So 0-2 the count now on Marsh, who takes a step out of the box, sets himself back up. Carr over at third and Fern over at second. That next pitch outside for ball 1. Looked to be a changeup there by J.T. Adams, trying to get that outside edge.
Will be interesting to see what the Tenderloins want to do on defense here. If it's a ground ball to first or third, do you go home with the ball, or do you take your out at first?
First and third are playing closer to the infield, as second and short are playing behind. So that next pitch lands way outside in the middle of the right-handed batter's box to even the count out at 2-2. We have a smaller crowd here tonight, but a still lively one, as we tend to do here down in St. Joe. The 2-2 pitch, high for ball 3. So Marsh able to work his way back after falling down 0-2. And Adams looking for his third strikeout of the night. The full count pitch, outside, ball 4. Adams loses Marsh as Marsh makes his way over to first. And the bases are now loaded with only 1 out for the 8-hole hitter, Lucas Barta.
Really tough sequence there for Adams. You know, had the batter 0-2 and just can't find a way to get the batter out. But now you got to force out any base, got to move on to the next pitch. The Precision still haven't scored a run yet, so if you can find a way to get out of this with just 0 runs, that'd be huge.
Another double play or strikeout or a pop-up is what you're looking for if you're J.T. Adams. As that first pitch to Lucas Barta taken high for ball 1. Barta, a product of the University of St. Mary out in Kansas, a member of the Precision team all 3 years of its existence, as the KCCBL was founded back in 2024. That pitch is fouled off at the handle, back into the backstop, even the count out at 1-1. The Precision, one of the better teams in the KCCBL. They won the championship back in its inaugural season in 2024 and made the playoffs last year and are currently leading their league with a record of 9-3 coming into today. Late swing there results in the swing and miss for Barta, as he's down 1-2 on the count with only 1 out here in the top of the second.
If you're Adams here, just crucial point in the game. 1-2 count. See what he can do here. Close pitch.
That pitch was just below the strike zone. Evens the count out at 2-2. Adams looking for his third strikeout of the inning.
Bases loaded. 1 out.
The 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Adams gets a crucial strikeout to get the second out of the top of the second. And the bases are now loaded for the mysterious 9-hole hitter who's only known as Cole.
See if Kastner can give him a proper introduction, but
now we know Cole wears the number 15.
we do know that. Jack Cole is what it says on the Mink League website, so.
Jack Cole?
Jack Cole.
So Jack Cole, his first name has been found. Up to bat for the first time this game as he takes that first pitch way inside for ball 1. Adams already well over 30 pitches. Precision have been working him here early. We'll see how long he stays out. Up next pitch, line down left field, the left field line, and foul by a matter of inches.
Really close there to being a fair ball and potentially scoring at least 2 to 3 runs there. So
an extra base hit robbed for Cole as that ball was pulled just a little too far left. As the count evens out at 1-1 here with 2 outs. If you're just joining us, Boston Bruce hit a home run back in the bottom of the first. Give the Tenderloins a 1-0 lead over the visiting KC Precision. As that next pitch is swung on and missed. Good off speed there by Adams. And Jack Cole now facing a 1-2 count with 2 outs.
Just had a really good off-speed pitch there. We'll see if he goes back to the off-speed or we'll use that fastball here.
The 1-2 offering swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Tenderloins are able to get out of a bases-loaded jam. Still up 1-0. We're going into the home half of the second inning. We'll be back to you here on your home of the St. Joseph Tenderloins right after this. Welcome back to the home half of the second inning here with the Tenderloins up on the Precision by a score of 1-0. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Tenderloins as Seth Winkler making his way to the plate for his first plate appearance of the game.
Seth Winkler batting 280 on the season so far as he drives one to center field.
That one's driven deep to center field and over the head of the center fielder, Jack Cole. Winkler trying to stretch it to 3. The throw from center late as Winkler's in with a stand-up triple to begin the bottom of the second inning.
Wasting no time, Seth Winkler just right over the center fielder's head and didn't stop running. In for a leadoff triple. Great start for the Tenderloins.
First triple of the year for Seth Winkler as he jumped on that first pitch fastball by Beck Fern, who's only given up 2 hits so far, but both of them being costly as a home run back in the first and a triple to begin in the second. As that first pitch to Jaden Little runs in the dirt low for ball 1.
If you're Jaden Little here, nothing too complicated. Just put something in play and get the run in.
That's hit shortly over to third. Not throwing home. The throw over to first in time, so Little is retired. But Winkler coming home via the fielder's choice. And the Tenderloins have doubled their lead. They're now up 2-0 over the Precision. That was Little's 9th run batted in on the year. That's a team lead there by a pretty considerable margin, as the bases are now empty for Zach Kraft, who tries to check his swing but isn't able to hold up on a ball that was low and in the dirt. Strike 1. So 0 on the count now on Kraft, who swings and misses at a ball also in the dirt, quickly falling into an 0-2 hole. He's had a solid start to his Mustangs career, but had a good year out at Metropolitan Community College before his stint here at the Mustangs this summer. And swings and misses there at a ball outside for strike 3. Fern's able to retire Kraft on 3 straight swings and misses for out number 2 here in the bottom of the second. Coming on up now is Eden Myers, the third baseman, who's playing in the 8th spot tonight. Normally we see Eden in the 5 and 6 area, but with the production the Mustangs have been getting out of Bruce and Lukehart, both of them commanding higher spots in the batting order, have kind of shoved Eden down to that bottom half, where he takes that first pitch for strike 1. There's a chopper up the middle, softly grounded over to the shortstop and over to first for the final out of the inning. 6-3 ground out there for Myers on 2 pitches. And after only 8 pitches, the inning is done. But a run does come home, courtesy of the Winkler triple and the Jaden Little RBI fielder's choice. Tenderloins up by a score of 2-0 going into the 3rd inning. We'll be back to you here on your home of the Tenderloins right after this. Welcome back to the top of the 3rd inning with the Tenderloins leading 2-0 over the visiting Kansas City Precision. And the top of the order coming on up for The precision with Braden Peterson making his way up to face JT Adams. Peterson sends that ball foul and out of play down the left side, hitting the berm over there as a horde of children try to go get their first free souvenir of the night.
Look for Adams. You know, another quick inning would be good here. 2-run lead now for him.
As that next pitch lands in the middle of the right-handed batter's box for ball 1. Adams having to work a little harder than Blake Fern so far this game. 40 pitches coming into this inning, while as Fern is only sitting at 24. That next pitch in there for a called strike 2. So a 1-2 count now on Peterson, who walked back in the top of the first on a full count to lead off this game. The 1-2 offering inside and low for ball 2. The count's even now, as Peterson able to take 9 walks and 11 strikeouts coming into today. So Peterson, a pretty patient hitter so far this season, as he swings and fouls that one back onto the roof. Count stays at 2-2. Peterson, despite his .077 batting average, is reaching base at about 32%. Solid margin there as he takes that next pitch outside for ball 3. He faces another full count here. He's got 3 stolen bases on the year, so a little bit of speed out there should he be able to get on base. The full count offering is a chopper high over to third base. Myers has it, tosses it over to Little, in time for out number 1 here in the top of the third.
Really good play there by Eden Myers at third base, just to take over the duties from Chris Coy. Chris Coy might have had a good angle on that one, but third baseman there always has that priority over the shortstop when they have a better angle on the ball.
Myers came charging in on that high chopper that took 2 bounces before reaching his glove, and a great throw over to first to get the speedy Peterson. As coming on up is Dylan Roser, who grounded into a double play his first time up on 1 pitch, as he takes this first pitch low for ball 1. Good start here for JT Adams. 2 1/3 scoreless innings to start off this game, as that next pitch comes high and tight for ball 2. Adams just about to hit the 50 pitch mark with this next pitch.
Roser's got really good numbers on the year. 318 batting average, 455 slugging, 900 OPS, so just really good stuff.
And that ball's hit opposite field over to the second baseman, and that throw goes wide of the first baseman, Jaden Little.
Kind of a tough play there for the second baseman for the Tenderloins. His momentum kind of just kept taking him that way.
Winkler over there at second. That ball was hit way far to his left, and honestly, a miracle he was able to get to the ball in the first place.
Yeah, really athletic play for Winkler just to even get there. And he got the throw off, but, you know, had to rush it a little bit to try to get the runner out, and overall just couldn't beat him in time.
So Roser able to make it on, and that will be ruled a base hit. So the infield hit for Dylan Roser. As coming on up is Reed Livingston, who was 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout looking. First pitch to Livingston is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count now on Livingston, who saw 5 pitches, decent amount of pitches back in the first. But a lot of these batters hitting very patiently against JT Adams, as that next pitch is swung on and missed. That was in the zone, but Adams able to blow by that fastball on Livingston to even the count out at 1-1. The 1-1 delivery, high and outside, ball 2.
Precision is doing a really good job of working JT's pitch count tonight. Nothing easy for JT Adams on the mound tonight.
There's a pickoff attempt over to first, and diving back safely is Dylan Roser. Roser on the year, only one stolen base on only one attempt, so not very much of a threat to run. As that next pitch runs just inside, could have been called strike two, but ruled a ball by our home plate umpire, as Livingston is now in a very favorable 3-1 count.
Hitter's count here, we'll see what he does.
3-1 delivery, outside edge for strike two. Good pitch there by Adams. As the sun's starting to make its way back onto the field, first and third are shaded, while second base and the pitcher's mound in a bunch of sun. Pickoff attempt over to first, and diving back safely is Roser. Third pickoff attempt we've seen so far this at-bat.
Yeah, Adams really worried about Roser over there at first base. That's his third pickoff attempt, like you mentioned. See if he takes off.
The 3-2 delivery. In there, called strike three. Adams gets his fifth strikeout of the afternoon, and Reed is down by the strikeout for the second time this game.
Really good pitch there by Adams. Just big out there to get the second out of the inning. We'll see if he can't close out the inning for a third out here.
Remember Carr, the big 6'6" catcher, coming on up for his second time. Made it all the way to third last time he was up, back in the second inning. But batting with a man on and 2 outs in the top of the third. Tenderloins up on the Precision by a score of 2-0. That first pitch is low and outside for ball one. It could have been called a strike if that were on a guy probably closer to our height, right around 5'10", 6 feet.
Yeah, for sure.
But 1-0 the count now on Carr. The pitch. Low and inside, ball two. So 2-0 the count now on Carr. Product of Drury University out in Rolla, who rifles one over into right field for a base hit. Stopping at second is Roser, and Carr is on with a 2-out single here in the top of the third. Runners on first and second now as Beck Fern coming on up. He had the only other hit on the night after Roser and Carr's singles. He singled back in the second and also stole second base.
2 singles now for the Precision team. 3 singles.
2 men on, 2 outs, top of the third. As that next pitch is lifted high into the air, playable for Belton out and left, and he makes the one-handed grab for the final out of the inning. Easy fly out to left for the Precision to end the top of the third, and their threat is once again quieted as they still trail the Tenderloins 2-0. We're going into the home half of the third here on your home of the Tenderloins. We'll be back to you here on YouTube in just a sec. Welcome back to the bottom half of the third inning. Tenderloins leading by a score of 2-0, and coming on up is Carter Belton for his first time tonight. 9-1-2 due up for the Tenderloins. After JT Adams is having a bounce back of a game, getting out a couple of jams back in the second and third, and currently sitting at 5 strikeouts. As that first pitch to Belton by the pitcher Fern is fouled back into the netting for strike 1.
Carter Belton's been a hot hitter for the Mustangs and the Tenderloins tonight. 2 home runs on the game so far this season, I should say. See if he can't spark off something to lead off the Mustangs.
He lines that over to third base, and a great play by Drake Matney over at third for out number 1. That ball was scorched.
Talk about being after the ball. That ball was hit really hard.
The 1 out here in the bottom of the third after Belton lines out to third, and Chris Coy coming on up for a second time tonight. He struck out swinging back in the first. Takes that first pitch outside for ball 1. That next pitch high and swung on for strike 2. And strike 1. So the count even here on Chris Coy, who's a very aggressive hitter up there in the plate, as he lines one out into left field. Going back on it is the left fielder Adam Marsh, who makes the one-handed grab for out number 2.
2 really hard hit balls there for the Tenderloins. Just right into the gloves of some precision defenders.
A little bit of unfortunate luck there for the Tenderloins here in the bottom of the third. As you were saying, Grayson, those balls were hit hard.
They were.
But coming on up is Boston Bruce, who hit a moonshot of a home run back in the first inning to give the Tenderloins at that time a 1-0 lead. That first pitch to him lands low and in the dirt and outside for ball 1.
Yeah, that was Bruce's second home run as a Mustang this summer. Just an absolute crushing home run to left field.
That next pitch dotted on the inside edge for strike 1. Evens the count out here to Boston Bruce, who's playing very well this year for the Tenderloins. Leans out of that pitch that was slow and inside. Change up there by Fern. Count now 2-1. That next pitch gets out of the catcher Carr's mitt, low and outside. 3-1 now the count. Very favorable count here for Bruce as he looks to make his way on base for a second time tonight. The 3-1 offering. Inside, ball 4. Bruce takes his base. First walk of the night for the Tenderloins.
Fern wanted no part of Bruce there after what he saw in the first inning from him, that's for sure.
After what Bruce did to that pitch, I don't think I would want anything either.
See if Braden Lucart can't give the Mustangs fans something to cheer for.
Lucart 0 for 1 on the night with a ground out to second back in the first inning. Batting with 2 outs here with one man on first. Skies that one high and looking to be out of play down the left field line. And that lands in a box by our fellow interns.
That's usually where I'd be if I wasn't on the mic tonight, so they're lucky I wasn't over there to catch that.
So a great catch by our boxes down there, by our intern table. And like you were saying, Grayson, that's normally where you'd be, but it's a pleasure to see you here on the mic tonight with Gabe being out of town. That next pitch lined over the head of the second baseman into right field for the base hit. Bruce making his way over to third, and runners are on the corners. We got a 2-out rally starting here in the bottom of the third inning.
Really good piece of hitting there by Lucart, just line drive over the second baseman's head. And the Mustangs have something going here with 2 outs now.
They were hitting the ball hard to begin this inning, and the ball's continuing to get hit hard here. As coming on up is Micah Kobuszewski. Has the opportunity to blow this game open. So he takes that first pitch on the inside edge for called strike 1. Bruce over at third, and Lukart over at first. The 0-1 to Kobuszewski is rifled down the right field line and hooking well out of play. Goes out of the park. Nearly hits a car. Can't add a car counter on that just yet. But a very loud strike 2 on Micah Kobuszewski.
Quickly 0-2 on Kobuszewski, but has a chance here to blow it open for the Tenderloins.
The 0-2 count, and that ball gets away from the catcher Carr, and a stolen base there for Braden Lukart. It's his first of the year. 2 runners in scoring position now. Base hit would score 2 with the speed that's on the bases. The count's now 1-2 on Micah Kobuszewski. As there's a high fly ball right center field. Coming in to make the catch is the center fielder, Jack Cole, for the final out of the inning. So 2-out rally squandered here by Precision. But the Tenderloins still lead 2-0 after 3. We're going into the 4th inning here on your home of the Stangs. We'll be back to you here in just a sec. Welcome back, folks. After 3, the Tenderloins up on the Precision by a score 2-0. JT Adams having a great game so far. 5 strikeouts and only 3 hits allowed through 3. As coming on up, we have 6, 7, and 8 here in the top of the 4th for the Precision. Drake Matney, the first batter, takes a pitch low and away for a called strike 1. Matney, one of 5 strikeout victims of JT tonight, who's pitching at Creighton University, a couple hours away in Nebraska. As that ball is rifled down over to the parking lot, I think I'd count that as a car.
That probably destroyed a windshield if I had to guess.
So first car of the night. We're in the double digits so far on the season, as the count's now 0-2 on Matney.
There's another one out there to the parking lot.
I think that's back-to-back car hits. So Matney fighting off to a couple of pitches to stay alive here. 0-2 to begin the top of the 4th. The 0-2 delivering. Strike 3 called on the inside edge. Matney not too happy with that. And Adams recording his 6th strikeout of the game.
Really good start there for Adams. He's had a lot. Tyler, he's had a lot of these long innings to start off the game, and overall just good to start off with a quick strikeout there.
Adams already well over 60 pitches, whereas Fern's not even at 40 so far this game. But a great quick out to begin the top of the 4th. as he's on to face Adam Marsh, who fouls one down the right side of the field, foul over towards the Mustang dugout. 0-1 the count now on Marsh, who, as the taco batter of the game, we all get free tacos should he strike out. And with Adam's stuff tonight, I think we got a good shot of seeing that.
Definitely do. Could be a Taco Bell night for the Tenderloins.
0-1 the count now on Marsh, as that next pitch runs just a tad low, evening the count out at 1-1. A 1-1 count on Marsh, who walked on a full count back in the second. Rifles one down the left field line, hooking foul. So 1-2 now on Marsh. Who coming into today had 2 walks and only 2 strikeouts. This is his first year with the Precision. 200 batting average, as that next pitch in there for a called strike 3. Got out of the way of the catcher, Bruce, and the throw over to first in time. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the 4th inning for Adams, who's now at 7 on the night. And free tacos for the crowd here at St. Joe.
You know, I'm going to have to ask our boss for free tacos. Would it be a bad idea?
That wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
2 strikeouts for JT Adams to start off the inning. See if he can't go for the strikeout the side here.
So the first pitch to the 8-hole hitter, Lucas Barta, is down low and away for ball 1. And what's key about both of those strikeouts, Grayson, they were both looking.
I was just about to say that.
That next pitch on the inside edge for called strike 1, so 1-1 the count now. And Adams seeming to have found his control here as the game's gone on. This is the pitcher that the Tenderloins were expecting when they threw him out there for opening night against the Monarchs a couple weeks ago.
For someone who struggled, you mentioned the ERA above 15. Just overall, he hasn't had a good start to the year, and coming from Creighton, that's a program that produces a lot of good players. And coming to St. Joe, I'm sure the fans wanted to see a lot of good stuff out of him, and tonight he's showing that he has that stuff.
Power 5 pitcher on the mound for the Creighton Blue Jays of the Big East. The 2-1 offering way outside for ball 3, and Barton's got a very favorable 3-1 count. Here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. The pitch by Adams nicks the outside edge for strike 2, able to work his way back yet once again.
Barta didn't like that call there, but got to live with what the umpire calls. Big pitch here.
Full count, 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back down the right side. Barta stays alive to see another pitch. Count still stays at 3-2. We've seen the wind shifting just a little bit. We maybe got a couple of storms coming on their way. That pitch is grounded up to third base. Myers has it, and the underhand toss to first is in time for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Precision in the top of the 4th. We're going into the home half with the Tenderloins still up 2-0 here on your home of the Mustangs. Welcome back to the home half of the fourth inning. Tenderloins up on the precision by a score 2-0. And the heart of the order coming up for the Tenderloins, 5, 6, and 7, is Seth Winkler, who walked and scored back in the second, making his second plate appearance. He shoots one far down the left field line, but hooking foul and just off of the brick wall that we have that separates the berm from the road right behind the stadium. Loud strike one for Seth Winkler to begin this home half of the fourth.
Yeah, you mentioned the loud. Just really got onto that first pitch.
That next pitch taken low and outside, bounces in the left-handed batter's box, evens the count out at 1-1. And if there's something that I've noticed so far, the Tenderloins have a lot of loud contact this game here against Fern.
They do. Even when they're making outs, it seems like they're making great contact that goes right to the defense.
Off speed that lands just a tad high, makes the count 2-1 here on Winkler. That next pitch, line down the left field line and grounded foul. Evens the count out at 2-2. And Winkler looking to stay hot at the plate to begin this season and hopefully provide a little bit more here for the Stangs. And I'm sorry, I said Winkler walked back in the second. He tripled. Swings and misses at a ball that was in the dirt, and that throw is high over to first, but be able to be caught there by the third baseman, Dylan Roser, for out number one as Winkler strikes out swinging. So Winkler down via the strikeout, and coming on up is Jaden Little, who had a fielder's choice ground out to third back in the second, but that did allow Winkler to come around to score. Takes that first pitch low and outside for ball one.
Yeah, I really like what Little did on that first plate appearance. You know, like I said, didn't have to do too much there, and just overall he got the RBI in just with the easy ground ball.
And a soft ground ball up to third, and the throw over to first, not in time, as the ball would, as the first baseman Roser was off the bag having to corral that throw. Looked like the third baseman Matney wanted that ball, even though that ball was hit directly at the shortstop Peterson. I think a throw by Peterson would have been in time for the out, but an infield hit for Jaden Little marks the fourth Mustangs hit of the evening, and he's on with one out for Zach Kraft.
You know, he didn't hit it very hard, but, you know, sometimes you don't have to, and the defense will just do it for you sometimes.
Kraft swings and misses at strike one. Kraft struck out on 3 swinging pitches back in the second. So 4 pitches on so far for Kraft, and he's currently 0 for 4 with 4 swings. Pickoff attempt over to first, and diving back safely is Little. Little on the year, only 1 stolen base. But the Tenderloins as a team do have quite a few guys with a lot of stolen bases. They utilize the base pass well, as that pitch was grounded just over to the shortstop and unable to make a throw in time as he was diving to get that ball. Back-to-back infield hits here for the Tenderloins. Put 2 men on with Eden Myers coming on up for his second time tonight.
Really good stop there by the shortstop there, Braden Peterson, but, you know, sometimes all you can do is just stop the ball. You can't always get an out there.
Peterson prevented that ball from making its way into the outfield. Dove to get it just on the edge of the dirt. But Myers coming on up with 2 men on and only 1 out. Hits a hard ground ball down the left field line and foul for strike one.
Big opportunity here for Myers.
Myers steps out, sets himself back. Myers only a 167 batting average so far on the year, but 3 runs batted in 18 plate appearances. Hits a high fly ball into shallow center field. Coming on to make the one-handed grab to his left is the center fielder Jack Cole for out number 2. The Tenderloins being quite aggressive here in the 4th inning. Some have paid off well, some haven't, as 2 men are on with 2 outs, and the 9-hole hitter Carter Belton coming on up Carter hit a hot shot over to third. That's why they call it the hot corner over there.
For sure. Really good contact in his first plate appearance for Belton.
As he rockets one out into center field and going back to make the grab. Oh, dropping the ball is the center fielder, Cole. Cole had that ball in his glove, but it popped out as he was trying to make the relay, which with there being 2 outs here in the bottom of the inning, isn't necessary.
Yeah, you know, looked like center fielder Cole had it going all the way in, and then just at the last moment, it hit the palm of his glove and just bounced out. Really unfortunate there for the precision center fielder. But if you're St. Joe, you take those all day.
We'll see how that gets ruled, but a run comes home, and the Tenderloins now up 3-0 here on the visiting precision. As there is a quick throw over to first, Belton dives back in safely.
Top of the order for the Mustangs now. Chris Coy struggled today, but has a good opportunity here.
Coy sends one into deep left field, but coming on to make the grab is the left fielder, Adam Marsh, for out number 3. Marsh took a weird route out to that ball.
Yeah, kind of took a banana out to it, kind of, but
just a little bit of a funky walk as he makes the final grab, but an error being ruled on that play by Belton. So a E8 allowing the run to score and Belton to advance to first. But after 4, the Tenderloins leading 3-0 here in Phil Welch. We'll be back to you going into the 5th right after this. Welcome back, folks, to the top of the 5th inning. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Tenderloins, Graydon Hammond, coming on to make his 3rd appearance of the year. Sends that first pitch on the outside edge to Jack Cole for strike 1. But a great piece of work here for JT Adams. So he went 4 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, as Cole swings and misses at strike 2. Adams ending the night with 74 pitches, but 4 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 hits allowed, with no runs coming across his first scoreless outing of the year. As that fastball by Hammond rides high and away, taps his chest, letting the catcher, Bruce, know that that was his fault. But 1-2 now the count on Cole, who struck out on 4 pitches his last time up. Next pitch way outside for ball 2, evens the count out at Cole. Cole's had a lot of action out there in center field so far tonight, but only a swing and strikeout tonight has only resulted at the plate. So that next pitch over the plate but low, making the count now full. So 3-2 now the count. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Hammond records his first strikeout of the evening. 8th by a Tenderloin pitcher, and Cole is the first out of the top of the 5th via the strikeout. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And Hammond's first pitch to Braden Peterson, who's 0 for 1 on the night with a walk and a ground out, is high and outside for ball 1. Hammond this year, 2 games and 1 win so far. 7 innings of work, 3 hits allowed, only 1 run coming across. So that count evens out at 1-1 after that next pitch lands inside for the called strike. A 1.29 ERA for Hammond. Best on the team as that next pitch is swung on and missed. Had Peterson guessing on that curveball. Counts now 1-2. Strike 3 called on the inside edge as Peterson goes down looking, and back-to-back strikeouts to lead off the top of the 5th for Graydon Hammond.
Yeah, really good piece of pitching there for Hammond. The Northwest Bearcat, for all the locals out here, Northwest Bearcat is a sophomore from Northwest. Starts off the inning with 2 strikeouts.
A native of Cameron, Missouri, so just a short distance here from St. Joe. As coming on up is the 2-hole hitter, Dylan Roser, who's 1 for 2 on the night with a single, as that next pitch is high in the air, popped up, but coming over to make the running grab is Eden Myers for the final out of the inning. A quick inning here as 12 pitches are required to send 1, 2, and 3 down for the precision. And after 4.5, we're going into the bottom half of the 5th here on your home of the Tenderloins, with the Tenderloins up by a score of 3-0. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back to the home half of the 5th inning. Tenderloins leading the precision by a score of 3-0. It's Boston Bruce making his way up for the 3rd time tonight. He's 1 for 1 with a homer, a run scored, and a walk. As that first pitch is delivered low, but called a strike for strike 1. as Beck Fern's night is done, and number 10, Ben Goodwin, coming in to relieve. That next pitch is low and inside for strike one, or for ball one.
Precision putting in a left-handed pitcher here, Ben Goodwin. He's got five and a third innings pitched on the year with 4 hits allowed and 3 runs scored.
That next pitch to Bruce, inside, ball 2. And a curious decision by Precision manager Nathan Moore to put in a lefty against the righty Bruce. Bruce is a powerful bat there in the right-handed batter's box, and the right-handed batter versus the left-handed pitcher generally gives the righty an advantage. Yeah. So that next pitch runs inside for ball 3. So a very favorable 3-1 count now on Bruce to lead off the bottom of the 5th. That next pitch called strike 2. Full count now for Bruce. So 3-2. Godwin's pitch inside, ball 4. Bruce makes his way to first for the 3rd time tonight, as he's had himself an evening with a homer and 2 walks. And coming up to bat now is Braden Lucart, who singled and stole a base back in the 4th inning. Back in the 3rd inning, my apologies.
Yeah, really good night for Boston Bruce. Another walk for him. That's his 2nd on the evening, as well as his home run.
First pitch to Lucart outside for ball 1. And Lucart and Kobaczewski are both lefties due up, so that's probably why head coach Nathan Moore put in the lefty despite the dangerous Bruce. And that pitch is hit over to right field, base hit. Another hit for Braden Lucart as he's on courtesy of the single, and 2 men are on with no outs for Kobaczewski, who's, despite being 0 for 2 today, has had a great year for the Tenderloins.
Yeah, if you're Kobaczewski, right where you want to be, got runners on, 2nd and 1st, no outs. New pitcher into the game, Ben Goodwin, not looking his best to start off his evening. See if Micah can give him a party gift.
Lefty on lefty matchup here. Bruce at 2nd, Lucart at 1st. That first pitch, fastball pumped in there on the outer half of the plate for a called strike 1. Kobaczewski 0 for 2 tonight with a ground out to 2nd, his first time up, and a deep fly out to center field to end the 3rd inning. As that next fastball also on the outer half of the plate for a called strike 2. Good set of pitches there by Goodwin.
Really good set of pitches there, just nailing that outside corner.
The 0-2 delivery. Chopper over to 3rd, and over to 3rd goes the 3rd baseman, Drake Matney, to get the force out at 3rd. So a fielder's choice by Kobaczewski gets Bruce out at 3rd, but only 1 out as Seth Winkler is coming on up, who's 1 for 2 on the night with a triple and a run scored.
Seth Winkler, another Tenderloin player who's just hit the ball really well tonight, has another opportunity to capitalize for the Tenderloins.
So that first pitch to him lands inside and low, ball 1. Winkler, a .280 batter coming into today. That pitch is over the plate and nabs just the bottom half of the strike zone. Off-speed slider there by Goodwin to even the count out at 1-1. Glance back to 2nd, and the runner's off to 3rd. Lucart's got his 2nd stolen bases of the game, as he's over at the 3rd, and runners are on the corners now as that ball was dropped by Carr coming on in. And a favorable 2-1 count now for Winkler.
I think that's Lucart's second steal of the year, so good for him.
Pitch on the outside edge, nabs the corner. Evens the count out at 2-2 on Winkler. So 2-2 with 1 out. There goes the runner, and that's a short hopper into center field. Base hit. Coming home to score, Braden Lukart via the single from Seth Winkler, and Kobaszewski making it safely over to second. Tenderloins now up 4-0 against the Precision.
Just a perfectly executed hit and run there for the Tenderloins. Hit and run there is where you swing and steal the base at the same time for all the viewers out there. And Mustangs/Tenderloins executed it perfectly there.
A great piece of hitting there by the Tenderloins to help increase their lead to 4. It's the first pitch to Jaden Little, runs outside for ball 1. Little 1 for 2 on the night with a fielder's choice and a run and a single. Also scored a run and drove in a run. The 1-0 inside and low nearly hits Little. The count's now 2-0. Goodwin not having the best command here to begin the 5th inning, as that pitch is muscled back over our heads and onto the roof for the first strike out for the first strike of the at bat. So 2-1 the count with 2 men on at second and first. Kobaszewski at second, Winkler at first. That next pitch framed to be a strike, but just outside, makes the count now 3-1 on Jaden Little.
Said it before tonight, hitters count. Really good opportunity here for Jaden Little.
The 3-1 offering, inside and low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded, full of Tenderloins. Goodwin giving up his first walk of the inning, and only the second walk drawn by the third walk, my apologies, drawn by the Stangs so far this game, which is kind of uncharacteristic. We've seen them be pretty patient these past couple weeks after starting out very aggressive to begin the season.
For sure. You know, it's really good to see the Tenderloins find other ways to get on base. The bats have been really good tonight. It was a lot of hard contact baseballs, but really good to see the Mustangs doing other ways to get on base.
And there's a high fly ball down the right field line. Over in foul territory to make the grab is the first baseman, Dalen Roser, but he misjudges the ball as a gust of wind came in. Foul ball and strike 1 on Zach Kraft, who got away with one there.
He definitely did get away with one there, Tyler. Just tough play for the first baseman backing up. Usually that's the second baseman's ball, I would say. Coming over with a better angle on the ball, but another opportunity for Kraft.
0-1 the count now on Kraft, who swings and misses at strike 2. Kraft has been swinging a lot at that ball high and away. As the count's quickly 0-2. A ball in play would score a run. So that ball's over the plate but low. Good take there by Kraft as the count's now 1-2. One and two, 1 out, bases full of Tenderloins here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Good take there by Kraft as that pitch ran high where he's liked it so far tonight, but able to hold off, and the count's even at 2-2.
Yeah, Tyler, if you're St. Joe here, a really good opportunity to really push this lead into a bigger one for sure. Only 4 runs right now, but a base hit here could make it a 6 to 7 run lead.
That pitch is outside. Full count now for Kraft. Good couple of takes after quickly falling behind 0-2. But nowhere to put him as that pitch runs inside and Kraft walks home a run. Third walk of the inning for Goodwin as he pushes across another run here for St. Joe, as they now lead by a score 5-0.
Yeah, the lefty for KC Precision just not having his best stuff tonight. You mentioned it, the 3 walks, and he's overall just not having his best stuff.
So coming home to score, Micah Kobaszewski. That walk pushes Winkler over to third and Little over to second with Kraft now at first. The 8-hole hitter, Eden Myers, coming on up. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out to short and also has a deep fly out to center field. Great spot here for Myers with only one out as he hits one sharply over to second base, over to second for one, and not in time as Eden Myers able to record the fielder's choice RBI. Coming home to score is Seth Winkler. And over to third is Jaden Little. Kraft is out at second for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good job there by Myers just to put the ball in play and score a run for the Tenderloins.
Pounced on a first pitch fastball there by Goodwin, who's approaching 30 pitches here in the inning. But men on the corners now for the 9-hole hitter Carter Belton, who reached on an error his last time up on a dropped ball by the center fielder Cole. Three runs across this inning. After before the fifth, only three had come across total. But the Tenderloins have a 6-0 lead over the Precision. As that next pitch, first pitch to Carter Belton, taken outside for ball one, counts even out at 1-1. Belton only .235 hitter, but a very productive hitter at that. 4 hits on the year, 2 home runs as he belts one into left center field, and that's going to drop for extra bases. 1 run is home for the Tenderloins. 2 runs are home, and Belton, trying to stretch that in the triple, retreats over to second on a dive, and a 2 RBI double for Carter Belton makes the lead now 8-0 in favor of the Tenderloins.
Carter Belton, just absolute display of hitting right there. It was another hit and run for the Tenderloins, and Carter Belton just drove that one to left center field.
The floodgates have opened here in St. Joseph, despite the flood warning, and they lead by the score of 8-0 with 5 runs coming home this inning. Goodwin ready to throw his 30th pitch of the inning. Looks like his night is done. So 29 pitches for Ben Goodwin. Not a pretty night, as he's only able to record 2 outs and 3 walks and 5 runs. As we have a new pitcher coming in for the Precision. We're going to take a quick break while he takes a couple minutes to warm up here on your home of the Stangs. We'll be back in a sec. Chase Harrington on the mound for the Precision as he comes on to relieve Ben Goodwin, only able to go 2/3 of an inning. Didn't strike out anybody, gave up 3 walks, 3 hits, and 5 runs. With Carter Belton out there at second, Chris Coy coming on up. 9th batter of the inning for the Tenderloins. Takes this first pitch outside for ball 1.
Chris Coy definitely wants to capitalize here. Hasn't had his best day offensively.
Coy on the day 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 flyouts to left field as he swings and misses on a slider there by Harrington to even the count out at 1-1. The 1-1 delivery is swung on and missed. Coy quickly in a 1-2 hole. As Harrington looking to get out of this inning and out of this jam, which has turned into a very tough one here for the Precision, trying to work their way back into this game. Harrington with the swinging motion, glances back at second and delivers. High for strike 3. Coy sharing a couple of words with the home plate umpire, and he's retired via the look and strikeout for the final out of the inning. But after 5, Tenderloins now lead by a score of 8-0 after that 5 spot in the 5th inning. We'll be back to you here going into the 6th on your home of the Tenderloins right after this. Welcome back to the 6th inning. Tenderloins up by a score of 8-0 over the Precision as Graydon Hammond's going out for his 2nd inning of work. Sends the first pitch to Reed Livingston outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Hammond looked really good in his first inning, last inning. Just 2 strikeouts is all he needed. Just made it really quick and simple.
Second appearance out of the bullpen this season for Graydon Hammond as that pitch finds its way into the strike zone to even the count out to 1-1. Hammond sets and delivers. A foul chopper over towards the dugout of the Precision makes the count 1-2. Precision on, my apologies, Livingston on the night 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. One of 3 batters on the Precision team tonight who are 0 for 2 with 3 strikeouts tonight. As that ball is muscled down the right field line, and that is a foul ball hooked just at the very end of it. Could have been extra bases, but Livingston having to settle for a foul ball. Counts remains at 1-2.
Has Livingston behind on the pitch. We'll see if he doesn't try to throw some off-speed pitch here or go back with the heater.
1-2. And there's the heater, but low and inside. Evens the count out at 2-2. So good pitch sequencing here, but just not enough on the inner half of the plate to get the call. And a swing and a miss at a fastball outside. Livingston's down on strikes for the third time tonight. And Hammond's recorded his third strikeout of the evening, as the first out of the top of the sixth comes from the 10th strikeout by a precision batter tonight. So coming on up is Ramar Carr. Most productive batter so far tonight for the Precision, as a walk and a single. So he takes that first pitch at the knees for a called strike one. 6'6", 230. Big right-handed batter, swings and misses at an off-speed pitch there.
Just
Good.
elite pitchings from Hammond right now. If you're Hammond, just keep attacking the batter and good stuff will happen.
One of our three keys of the game that we talked about pre-game was the importance of the relief pitching needing to settle down. Of the 11 runs in the St. Joe series, series last week, 8 of them were given up by the relief pitchers, as Carr swings and misses through strike 3. He's retired for the first time tonight. And Hammond, with his 4th strikeout of the game, second one of the inning, brings up Beck Fern. But a great job of relief so far for Graydon Hammond. Started by an excellent start by J.T. Adams. First pitch outside, check swing, not going around is Beck Fern, who started out the game pitching. Actually, is this Beck Fern? Hold on.
I was going to correct you, but I wasn't. I think it's Chase Harrington.
It's Chase Harrington. You're right. Number 23. Oh, no, this is Webb Fern.
Webb? Oh, maybe he has a brother.
So Webb Fern coming in for Beck Fern. Swings and misses there. Makes the count 1-2. Beck finished the night 1 for 2 with a single, a stolen base, and a flyout. And I would assume this to be his brother.
Or cousin.
Or some sort of relative. Takes that next pitch high and inside for ball 2, evens the count out. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and there goes the tag. Webb Fern down on strikes, and a 3-strikeout inning for Graydon Hammond, as 1, 2, 3 go down via the K here in the top of the 6th. Tenderloins still up by a score of 8-0 on your home of the Tenderloins on YouTube. We'll be back here in just a sec. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning. Boston Bruce coming on up. He's had an amazing night at the plate for the Tenderloins, going 1 for 1 with a moonshot of a home run down the left field line and 2 walks so far tonight. He's on to face Harrington. Takes that first pitch high for ball 1. Harrington able to strike out Chris Coy to end the Tenderloin threat after they scored 5 back in the 5th inning. That next pitch finds the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Slow off-speed pitch there by Harrington to work himself back into the count. Strike 2 called as that pitch touches the knees.
Yeah, Harrington kind of came in last inning for the precision and did the job for them. They were struggling mightily. Gave up 5 runs in that last frame to the Tenderloin.
Ben Goodwin, not a good relief outing for the precision, but Harrington showcasing some good stuff tonight as the count now runs full on Boston Bruce. Second full count that Boston has seen tonight. He faced one back in the 5th. And he takes that one high for ball 4. Boston Bruce walking for a 3rd time this evening. And 1 on here to begin the bottom of the 6th with Braden Lucart, who is also having himself a game. He's 2 for 3 with 2 stolen bases and a run scored.
Yeah, Boston Bruce was rated the number 41st overall best player in the state of Kansas. So
a good player we have here
really,
for the Tenderloins.
Really just impressive stuff by these Tenderloins players.
1-0 count to Lucart after that pitch runs low and inside. And that next pitch runs inside too. Count's now 2-0 on Braden. Bruce and Lucart are cementing themselves as great pieces here for the Tenderloins lineup. As that next pitch runs outside, make the count now 3-0.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch Lucart for Missouri Southern this year as I go to Northwest, and he was someone that really stood out on the roster every game, just someone who's going to put the ball and play hard almost every time and make something happen.
And ball 4 as Lucart takes high, back-to-back walks to lead off the bottom of the 6th. 2 men are on for Micah Kobaszewski, who had a run-scoring fielder's choice. Is a fielder's choice last time up. He came around to score. So 0 for 3 on the night for the cleanup hitter.
Yeah, look for Micah to put something in play here hard. It's 0 for 3 on the night, like you mentioned, but one of the hottest Mustangs players on the team.
Takes a pitch just at the top of the strike zone for strike 1. So 0-1 now the count on Kobaszewski. Harrington looking to get himself back into this game after ending the 5th in a good way, but not having a good start here to begin the bottom of the 6th. That pitch taken high and outside for ball 1. Evens the count out at 1-1.
Harrington struggling a little bit with his command right now. Walk 2 already.
Tenderloins able to hold up here, not swinging a lot, as that next pitch is fouled directly back at us. Had the netting not been there, I think we might have had a good chance to grab that.
Yeah, that would have been a close one without the net for sure. I've watched my fair share of Rex Hudler from the Royals, though, where he just snags it like that. So
1-2 now the count on Micah Kobaszewski. The pitch. Lined but over past the shortstop, opposite field, single for Kobaszewski. Going to third is Lucart, and coming home to score is Boston Bruce on that RBI single by Kobaszewski.
Micah Kobaszewski do a job. Haven't heard his name a lot tonight, but the Mustang star comes through with an RBI double there.
RBI double for Micah Kobaszewski, his first extra base hit of the game. And the Tenderloins now lead 9-0. Biggest lead we've seen from them all season.
Threatening with a forfeit, potentially. I think it's 10 runs after 7 innings.
After 7, it is a 10-run rule. We have a 10-run rule here in the Mink League as that first pitch runs low and at the knees for called strike 1 to Seth Winkler. So the Tenderloins needed one more run here and one more inning of work to potentially call this game before we have any bad weather come its way in. As that pitch goes to the backstop, wild pitch there by Harrington. And coming home to score is Braden Lucart. There's that magic number 10. 10-0 is our score here in the bottom of the 6th. Now that 2 Tenderloins have come across the score via the double and the wild pitch.
Tenderloin kind of just finding a way to do it all tonight, whether it's getting a walk, hard hit baseball, good defense. Not much to complain about if you're a St. Joe fan tonight.
That next pitch is outside for ball 2. So 2-1 the count now on Winkler. Winkler 2 for 3 tonight. He's also had a great night. Triple, a single, and a run batted in. And a run scored as that pitch is a soft liner directly to the shortstop for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Coming up to bat to Jaden Little. Little for the night, 1 for 2 with a run scored, a single, a walk, and a run batted in. The entire Mustangs lineup, I feel like we've been mentioning all their accolades that they've been doing tonight. Doesn't matter who it is or where they are in the lineup, they've been producing.
Yeah, Tyler, just really good night for the Mustangs overall. 1 through 9, everyone's contributed. Pitching was great by JT Adams to start off the game, and the bullpens hung in there for the Mustangs as well.
And it looks like we've got a pitching change here. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is in just a sec as he takes a couple of minutes to warm up. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and follow the St. Joe Mustangs here on YouTube as well as on our socials on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We've got a lot of games coming on up throughout the rest of the season, and we'd love for you to join us and continue to support us. We'll be back to you here in a couple of minutes on your home of the St. Joseph Mustangs. We have a new pitcher on the mound for the Precision. Jake Miller making his first pitching appearance of the year. Mostly a catcher or an outfielder this season, 286 batter, but first time on the mound as he sends this first pitch to Jaden Little outside for ball 1. Next pitch over the plate and low, but a swing and a miss by Little evens the count out at 1-1.
Although this game might not be any close, you know, still a good opportunity to work on your at-bats and find some good swings if you're a Mustangs player.
Swing and a miss there. Makes it strike 2 as that pitch ran just at the knees. So a 1-2 count now on Little. There's only one out here in the bottom of the 6th. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. Kobuszewski over at third with 2 outs. And coming on up is Zach Kraft, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out his first time, but has walked and singled in his previous 2 plate appearances.
Rain did held up tonight here at Phil Welch Stadium. Hasn't sprinkled even.
Strike 1 called on a pitch that looked a little high to Kraft. But Kobuszewski out at third is the responsibility of Harrington. Harrington finished his night 2/3 of innings pitched, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, a hit, and so far 2 runs. Should Kobuszewski come across the score, it would be 3 on the night. That pitch is taken outside for ball 1. And ball 2 there. 2-1 the count now on Kraft, who's getting a night off from the field. Has been catching the past couple games in place of Norman Davis. Swing and a miss at the ball high, making the count even at 2-2.
Taking some big rips at the plate right now, but you can't blame him with the score being 10-0. You know, why not try to swing for the fences?
Kraft looking for his first Mustangs homer. Takes that next pitch high for ball 3. It's a full count. So 3-2 the count, 2 outs. Kobuszewski at third. 10-0 our lead. Mustangs over the Precision. And ball 4. Kraft able to walk for a second time tonight. Puts runners on the corners as Eden Myers comes on up for his 4th time tonight. First pitch to Eden is bounced down the left field line and foul. Eden was way early there on a fastball.
Definitely was thinking fastball right there. It was right on that pitch, just like you mentioned, a little bit too early.
But 0-1 the count now after that foul ball. The pitch. Inside and low, evens the count out at 1-1. Swing and a miss there, makes the count 1-2. Myers chasing something outside and away. But the runners at the corners. Zach Kraft at first, Micah Kobuszewski at third. The pitch. Lined into right field, and coming on to make the grab is the right fielder, Livingston, for the final out of the inning. But after 6, the Tenderloins now lead by a score of 10-0. We're in a run rule game. So if we're able to retire the top of the Precision with no runs coming across in the 7th inning, the game will be called. But we'll be back to you with that potential in just a couple of minutes on your home of the Mustangs. We'll be right back. Coming on up, we got the top of the 7th. Eden Myers in to pitch after playing third base tonight. We'll tell you how the new defensive positioning is in a couple of seconds. But the count's now 0-2 on Drake Matthey after he swung and missed on that first pitch fastball and takes a nice slider on the inside edge for strike 2. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt makes out number 1 here in the 7th. Mustangs are only 2 outs away from ending this game. And that is the 12th strikeout of the evening for Tenderloins pitchers. And talk about a change of an entire turn of the events. We'd seen a lot of walks here by these Tenderloins pitchers and given up a lot of runs, especially here in these later innings. But a shutout so far, 12 strikeouts and only 3 walks allowed, all of those by JT Adams, who hasn't pitched since the 4th inning.
Yeah, you know, JT Adams started it off for the Mustangs, Tenderloins, excuse me, but really good night for JT Adams. Just kept the shutout going on, and then Mustangs bats, Boston Bruce, you know, everyone really contributed tonight, and just overall it was a really good night for the Mustangs. And I think if you're a Mustangs fan, no complaints tonight. One bit, no complaints. No
complaints at all as they're up 10 with Adam Marsh up to bat. And on the 2-0 pitch, he swings for the fences and is unable to make any sort of contact. Counts now 2-1. Marsh on the night. Oh, it's not Marsh. I apologize. It's Hunter Hosington, number 35. He's only had 2 at-bats this entire season. So Marsh's night is done. Fouls that next pitch off, so it's a 2-2 count. Myers pitch. Bottom of the strike zone for called strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning. And we've got a streak of 5 straight precision batters all striking out.
With the chance to end the game with the 6th strikeout in a row, I'm ready for it. See if Coleman can't, as we hear the Undertaker WWE theme play.
The Undertaker bell rolling as that first pitch to Lucas Barta runs in just a tad high for ball 1. The pitch on the edge of the strike zone. 1-1 the count now on Barta. 0-3-1 tonight for the Precision so far. 10-9-0 for the Tenderloins. That next pitch runs inside. Called a strike, so 1-2 the count now on Barta, and the Tenderloins are 1 pitch away from ending this game. The 1-2 offering swung on and missed. Strike 3 called, and the end of the inning, end of the game here for the Tenderloins. What a great night here for St. Joe as the 1,317 fans who were able to stay watched a 10-0 shutout here in 7 innings as the run rule has been called. St. Joe with a beautiful game on both sides of the ball. Offense coming through, pitching being absolutely unhittable, and what a great night overall.
It really was a great night. No complaints from the batting or the pitching tonight. Boston Bruce started it off in the first inning with a deep shot to left field that cleared the fences. Braden Lukehart right behind him in that 3-hole, and Micah Kobashevsky saw it later in the innings as well. So that meat of the order was just really good all night. And the pitching, I mean, a shutout, you can't ask for any better.
You really can't ask for anything better as the Tenderloins improved to 5-3 on the year as we are about to start a 3-game series against Mink League opponents, starting with Chillicothe tomorrow night and the North Missouri Natties on Friday and Saturday. But our player of the game, Boston Bruce, having an amazing night, hitting his 2nd Mustangs homer and also drawing 3 walks. What a night for him, and what a night for the Tenderloins as they defeat the KC Precision. Thanks for tuning in tonight with us, folks. I'm Tyler Angerbauer.
Grayson Heck.
And thank you for joining us on YouTube. We'll be live tomorrow. Make sure to tune in and make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And follow us on our socials, all of those at St. Joe Mustangs. Have a great rest of your night.